Welcome to episode 1 of Poetry Reading with Pistachio. Poetry Reading with Duke of Scott. Poetry Reading with Kip. We'll figure that part out. Anyway, I titled this one Nightmares Before Lullabies. This is a poem, a favorite poem of mine that I wrote several years ago. I thought about you on rainy days whenever creature couldn't fall asleep. All of my ghosts come out to play. Will you Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man with me? I prayed about you on starry nights when my yellow brick roads would fade to black. And I never wondered in pool of Hades, what if I never make it back? So, a little bit of an explanation. This poem is obviously about a love interest, a girl. If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, second one, Dead Man's Chest, when when Jack Sparrow is talking to Davy Jones about William Turner, and he's trying to offer William Turner as like, hey, like I know I owe you a debt, let William be a part of that debt. And he goes, and he's in love, speaking of Will, he goes, and he's in love with a girl. So this poem is about a love interest, a girl, that I wrote about. And the idea is like this girl is metaphorically a lullaby within the nightmare of this time that I was in. So almost pretending as if like, hey, these lullabies are these things that kind of woo you to sleep and kind of blanket you, envelop you, wrap you, help you to get to this feeling of a safe space before you may fall into this dreamland where you may encounter terrifying visions. So this idea of this girl who I'm depicting metaphorically as a lullaby, saying, I thought, as you're trying to drift off or trying to go to sleep, I thought about you on rainy days when creature couldn't fall asleep. All of my ghosts come out to play. Will you Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man with me? I prayed about you on starry nights when my yellow brick roads would fade to black, and I never wondered from pool of Hades, what if he doesn't make it back? So this idea of like, hey, what's the scene? The scene is rainy days when creature, I thought about you in this time of my life when things were dark and gloomy and rainy, and I couldn't fall asleep because, again, the nightmares before lullaby, like I'm held awake. I'm kept up at night by these terrifying thoughts and visions, or just the horrors of things that I'm seeing in my life. So I can't fall asleep. And in this time, saying like, hey, all of my ghosts, kind of like lending myself to the way old Greek culture would think about the gods, saying all of my ghosts come out to play, like all of these beings and spirits and sprites and dark spirits, gods, lowercase g, gods. When all of my ghosts come out to play, will you Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man with me? So now I'm saying like, hey, like you're the thing that helps me to fall asleep when I can't fall asleep, when I'm in this place, when life is rainy and creature can't fall asleep. You're the thing that helps me to fall asleep when the visions are so horrifying that they keep me awake at night. And then saying whenever all of my demons come out to play, will you Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man? Will you do what you do? Will you be Mrs. Pac-Man to my Mr. Pac-Man and give me the power and the strength and the umph and the grit to then go like chase after my ghosts and my demons? Will you Mr. and will you give me the courage and the bravery to confront my demons, not only confront my demons, but to go into pursuit and to put them into flight and to chase after them? I prayed about you on starry nights like the Van Gogh painting. So not starry nights as in this like beautiful metaphor for like, I prayed about you on nights that the sky was beautiful, full of stars. No. I prayed about you on starry nights when there was turmoil in my soul, referencing the Van Gogh painting Starry Night, where the swirls in the sky are depicting the inner turmoil that Van Gogh was going through. I prayed about you on nights when my soul was in turmoil, when my yellow brick roads would fade to black. That idea of yellow brick road being a line of logic, or being akin to this idea of Ariadne's thread, this thread by which you could follow through the labyrinth or through the maze or through this disorienting, perplexing landscape to find your way through to the destination you're trying to arrive at. I prayed about you in a time when my soul was in turmoil and I was lost because the sense of a North Star that I would usually follow, my yellow brick road that I would usually follow, the compass of my heart that was a yellow brick road to me would fade to black. So I can't discern a yellow brick road from the landscape of darkness in my soul being everything is dark. There is no illuminated yellow brick road anymore. It's faded to black. And in that place, as I held on to you being my anchoring thought, this girl who the poem is about being my anchoring thought, I then say, I never wondered in Pool of Hades, what if I never make it back? And that idea, Pool of Hades, is from the Disney movie Hercules at the very end, when in order to save Meg, the protagonist, Hercules, in order to save his love interest, Meg, has to dive into this pool of spirits, the pool of the dead. It's also the same idea in the third Pirates of the Caribbean's movie, At World's End, when they finally got Jack out of Davy Jones' locker and they're now transitioning back to the world of the living, and Elizabeth Swann and all the crew and Jack and everyone see in Calypso, they see the spirits of the dead that died at sea, kind of like transitioning into the land of the dead. That same idea of being in this in-between place between the living and the dead. I never wondered, while in this place where I was diving through, what's a way to say it? I never wondered in this transitionary place where I was at risk of losing myself and losing my life and losing my divine spark, while I was in this place of highest and utmost risk of death and loss of myself and of my light, being there in the first place because I was in pursuit of you, this girl who's the love interest. I never wondered, like, what if I never make it back to the land of the living? Because being possessed by the thought of having you, of having this love interest was so strong that the risk associated evaporated. There was no perceived risk because the reward of having you, the potential of having you as my lullaby, as my Mrs. Pac-Man, as my prayer answered. That idea was stronger to me and more inspiring of courage, inspired so much courage that any fear that I would have of dying in the process dissipated. So yeah, that's one of my favorite poems. And that was episode 1. See you guys next time for episode 2.